Yeah, yeah. Making her way to the mic. They start dimming the lights. You start feeling alright. From Birmingham, home with the Teddy Longs and the Ruben Studders. More once you discover. For all of the lovers, Whitney Houston and Roman Reigns. For all of the lovers, and Mickey James and Marvin Gaye. For all of the lovers, and Sasha Banks, Janelle Monáe, Silk, Sonic, and Paige. Allow me to say, look, I just found a place, sweet escape for every one of us. I was kinda late, I just made it off the struggle bus. Walking by the fate, cause I know it's right in front of us. Yo, I ain't with the hate, gotta focus on what's great. Ladies and gentlemen, Steph Hardy is on the air. Had to drop a couple bars just to make you all aware. So, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. You know I go by Joe or the rest of the flow, yeah.
Hey y'all, welcome to a new episode of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast with your girls Stephanie Hardy and Bianca Addison. We are up in here on this fabulous day for a new episode of the pod. How are you, Bianca?
Girl, it's almost Friday.
Yes, it's Friday Junior. If you're listening to this, then it's almost Friday. But of course, for those who are listening to this later, we hope whatever day you're having is going to be a good day. But of course, we are recording this on Thursday, February the 12th, 2026, which means that this is really the anniversary week of HWP. So for all of the posts that I made, thank you guys so much for being supportive of the show, of me and my wrestling journey, and of Bianca and her wrestling journey as it starts now. And just honestly just being there for the ride and supporting this Southern Black woman as she's been talking about wrestling, not even as an expert, but as a fan who's just highly dedicated to the game and everything and finding her voice and all of the things. Thank you for everyone that has ever supported this show and even supporting it now. Thank you for these past 6 years. So yeah, so much has happened, but of course, in wrestling, we have the Royal Rumble, which did just pass. We have AEW with a number of events that's coming up that they've also announced as well, and a lot of title changes on that end as well that happened last night. But before we even get into that, Bianca, I do want to ask you, Miss Co-host, how did you feel about the Royal Rumble results? Did you like the winners of both matches, Liv Morgan and Roman Reigns, who we'll talk about later?
Oh my god! I had my predictions. I wanted my girl. I wanted Last Legend to win. I wanted someone else to win, but then when Roman Reigns returned, it was predictable. Because everyone who returns is automatically the winner. That's like the majority of the time. Like, I wanted Elba Murray to win so bad. Oh my goodness. I wanted Trick Williams to have a chance. But I mean, it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yes, it is what it is at this point.
Man, I was not happy that my predictions weren't right.
Why, Bianca? This is something we do need to unpack because this is a problem that us wrestling fans do have. So it's time to unpack. What's the problem? Why? What is it?
No shade against Liv Morgan at all. I just wanted someone else to win. That's it. No shade to Liv Morgan. She's great. So, I mean, she's already the greatest Royal Rumble winner of all time.
Lord, the dial tone that just went off in my head. You just don't know. Girl, She is gonna milk that until the cows come home. Okay, Liv Morgan. See, I can't even fault her though, because the way that she was jumping up and down at their post show and everything after she won, I couldn't even fault her for it, because I would probably do the same thing. I have the same exciting type of when it comes to accomplishing a thing. So I couldn't even fault her for it. And it's like they mentioned, the reason why I didn't have a problem with Liv Morgan winning is because she had been in every single one since the
Yeah,
beginning. She had participated in every single women's Royal Rumble since the beginning. And that was something that she really wanted for herself. So the fact that she won, I was just like, okay, okay. And then the idea that it adds to the layers of dissent that we're seeing from the Judgment Day, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. It's just, I was okay with her winning, and I was okay. And I love how Michael Cole called it and said that she was always the bridesmaid and
yeah,
never the bride. Like that was a heck of a call by Michael Cole, but he's a legend at this point. So
yeah.
there's nothing that he can't do at this point that I probably won't love, because that man essentially raised me. So
Me,
yeah, raised a generation on wrestling with his
yeah,
voice, him and Taz and him and everyone else. So when he said that, that just really resonated with me. And also as a person that just really wants to get married, I was just like, girl, I get it. But so, seeing Liv win, I was just like, okay, girl, yeah, mm-hmm, I get it. But then the Roman Reigns of it all, um, it was so interesting that years ago when he won the Royal Rumble the first time, and you can tell that he was being positioned to be on top. And the fans dissented against it and they hated it so much that they
yeah,
even brought The Rock out there to try to help the situation, and it didn't, because they wanted Daniel Bryan to be the guy. You
yeah,
know, to fast forward all of these years now, and he's essentially a bad guy, and he was a good guy then, but now he's a bad guy essentially, or like a tweener,
you
an
can't
in between
seriously.
heel face person.
I
It's just
can't do
like, it's like now, we're cheering for him, and we're happy that the OTC won the Rumble this time. So
I mean, yeah,
it's interesting. It's interesting, the trajectory and the journey of Roman Reigns to be full circle the way it is.
I got used to the winners. It's I got used to it. I'm not mad anymore. I'm not mad. I wasn't mad at all. I was irritated, but not mad.
See, if anybody I really wanted to win the whole thing, I wanted Obafemi to
Thank
win.
you. Right.
Yeah, I really did. If I was going to predict anybody to just go through and dominate and win the entire thing, I would have loved it if Oba won. But the way he came in was very strong. Like, for his debut to be the Royal Rumble, that is a pretty solid debut. And of course, we're going to talk more about Obafemi later, but he did a phenomenal job. So
That walk.
yeah, you can't beat that walk. You
Mm,
can't. You
mm.
cannot beat the final boss of Black Men and
No.
that walk.
Come on,
You
over.
can't.
Where my over feminists at?
Yes, we're
Stand up.
over feminist.
Come on.
We love him and that walk, honey.
Yeah.
That is a grown man. That's a grown man right there, okay?
Representing Africa by
Representing
way of
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yes. We clap. I clap for my nation of origin.
I'm
As far
actually
as far as I know. As far as
I'm
I
a
know.
I'm actually of Nigerian descent. So
Yes.
it means a lot to me seeing Nigerians in WWE. So that means it always makes me happy.
Yeah, it makes me happy too. The only African country I've been to is Ghana. So I love it. I loved being there. So, but I am inspired. I have been inspired for years to find my heritage. So I'm going to find it, and love on everyone else. But either way, we're going to start the show proper by saying Happy Black History Month. And of course, thank all of you guys for engaging with the posts that we've been making, highlighting each amazing Black wrestler from the past, present, and of course, in the future stars that we've been doing. We're going to keep it going until day 28. And then, of course, next month, which is March, will be Women's History Month. So we'll be posting more about women and their history in wrestling as well. So be on the lookout for that too. We're celebrating Black excellence all month long. It's the 100th anniversary of Black History Month. So we are definitely, doing it up and celebrating Black excellence in all of its forms. So, before we get into the proper wrestling of things, we have to talk about someone who is wrestling adjacent, who made huge waves this past Sunday at Super Bowl 60
Oh,
when he headlined the halftime show and he took the stage by storm. And of course, we're talking about the Grammy winning, album of the year winning, 24 former 24/7 champion Bad Bunny, WrestleMania headliner, backlash headliner in his home territory of Puerto Rico, Bad Bunny. This man took the entire Levi's Stadium in California and made it his own.
yeah.
And I am still gagged about it. I am still blown away by the messaging of it, the music about it, and just everything about this entire presentation, which is beautifully produced by Rock Nation and beautifully choreographed by Charm LaDonna, who is of course choreographed for Kendrick Lamar and so many other great people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, she has just been doing amazing work in dance, and just all the music was just incredible, and all the messaging and the inclusion that it had, it was just stellar. The guest stars, the Ricky Martin of it all, oh my god, like seeing him sing on a stage in Spanish was just one of the most beautiful experiences ever, because every time I had ever heard him sing in my childhood, it was always in English.
Yeah.
But to see him sing in his native tongue and sing about what he was singing about, which was the dangers of colonization and tour and extra tourism
Mm.
in Puerto Rico and what it does. It was just a beautiful sight to see. And then seeing Lady Gaga, who Bad Bunny loves, be a part of it and sing Die With a Smile, which is a salsa version, which at a real wedding at that, which is so beautiful. So I just wanted to come on here and talk about it because we know Bad Bunny and we're familiar with him within the wrestling fandom, but we really have to talk about the artistry of what this man did, because he really like ripped open a level of resistance and joy that it was much needed.
Yeah.
Bianca, how did you feel watching it?
You know what? I had it's no surprise I understood. I did not understand a word he said.
Mm-hmm.
However, I watched for the vibe, and um though I had no idea what he said, the message is clear. And yeah, I loved every minute of it. It was great. Loved I love the fact that he got the racists and the opposers upset and riled up. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite parts. Um, yeah. Hearing, yeah, seeing. Um, when I look back at pictures, I saw like not in this area, like the place with all the I think of the bodega with all the signs. I saw
Yeah.
I saw a neon sign that says we accept EBT. Now
Mm-hmm.
that r- means a lot to me because I'm currently on EBT. so like that um he representing the minority, he representing his people, he represents immigrants. Um, Amazing message. I got a little confused when Lady Gaga was there, to be honest, but I had no problem with it. I knew it was it was a surprise seeing that wedding and knowing that it was real. I didn't second guess it. I knew it was real from the jump. But it was cool seeing Lady Gaga appreciate the wedding and sing for them. It was so sweet. And the little kid being his younger self at the Grammy. Oh,
Yeah, that was heartwarming.
yeah. Very cute. Very cute. Very cute. I love that this was like the second year that the Super Bowl halftime show was political and where art had an actual message.
Mm-hmm.
So, and during Black History Month of
Mm-hmm.
all, I love that. So, and a time where we need it when we need it the most. Um, this is they talk about representation and how it matters. And I love that um and I love that it's the NFL has opened up their is opening up and being inclusive, more
Mm-hmm.
inclusive with their shows, and here and accept and like being open to like the performers having a message and 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 speaking out on like a large platform like the Super Bowl where the whole world is watching, especially
Yeah.
a time show. That's always big. But I
Yeah.
really loved it. I loved it so much. There was this one part where Bad Bunny was speaking to the TV. He said,
Mm-hmm.
I, he said, I don't, along the lines of you can do anything you want, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, the
And
whole
that
part.
you're worth more than you think.
Yes, I'm. I I saw a post on Twitter with that being translated. So when I saw that, I was like, "That's what he said." Oh my god, I love that. But I really
Mm-hmm.
love that he didn't speak in that he performed the whole thing in Spanish. I really
Yeah.
love that and got and it because that speaks that's has that sparks a that's a very important discussion that 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 brings up very important discussions and yeah, 10 out of
Yeah.
10 for me.
Yeah. I mean, that's essentially how I felt the entire. Well, I know the first time I watched it through and just looking at it is like watching it from the beginning and seeing the grass fields. It's
Yeah,
like you could feel that there was something ancestral and past life about it, and moving and combining it with sort of like the modern businesses that you saw. And a lot of the businesses that you saw, like even within the grass fields, like it felt like things that I had seen when I had been to New York or when I had been to California, and and seen Hispanic people with businesses like that. So it didn't feel as unfamiliar, of course, because I've never been to Puerto Rico. But I've been to places where immigrants, are and take up space and live.
yeah,
So to see stuff like that portrayed the way that it was on that big of a platform was just really beautiful. And the way that you mentioned, the Black History Month of it all, I think something that isn't represented nearly as much as it should be is just the fact that, that there is blackness in Hispanic culture. And there are plenty of people who I know who are Afro Latino who are so beautiful and wear that proudly. And I really feel like seeing that represented with the dancers and, you know, with especially the female dancers, it was just very beautiful and empowering, and just watching them, move the way that they moved with such freedom and, just badassery. It was just like, I love this so much. And then the idea of the wedding happening, like just like you, I felt like it was real. I was like, this feels real. Like this doesn't feel like a fake wedding like
yeah,
they're just putting on. This is very much a real wedding. And I enjoyed every bit of it. I loved the music, and I'm glad that Bad Bunny stood on business and performed every bit of it in Spanish, because yeah. Because the people who were meant to get it, that I've seen on TikTok, who are of those cultures, they got into it and they were screaming and they felt represented. They were crying, they were celebrating, they were dancing. And that's really the most important thing. It's like when a group of people feel represented, just like when us as Black people feel represented, when other cultures feel represented too, it's just like you can't buy that joy. You just can't.
yeah,
And you can't manufacture it either. So I was just really happy for everyone, every Puerto Rican, every Hispanic person, and essentially the way he represented all of North and South America at the
yeah.
end. It was just beautiful. And I was just like, man, this is great. This is great. And that's the reason why this episode is called Together We Are America, because um I just had a lot to get off my chest about that halftime show and just about what he decided to resist against. In terms of this administration being complete assholes. I'm sorry to curse.
Yeah,
Being complete assholes to black and brown people
yeah.
for no reason other than just being hateful. And the fact that you have these supposed authority figures running around acting like they're in charge of things, but really they're miscarrying justice and taking lives all up and through. No, like I just really hate it. And so the idea that joy can be a resistance to that as well, you know, means a lot. So Bad Bunny will always have my love and respect, not only for what he's done in wrestling, but definitely for how he uses his music and his platform to fight against forces that come against his people and anyone else. Um, he'll always have my respect for that, and I'll always love that halftime show for that. I've watched that halftime show a good 4 times since it happened because it was just so beautiful. The music was amazing, and the message was just clear. Even if you may not speak Spanish as a second language, the message was clear if you were paying attention.
Yeah.
Like my mom always said, like one of the best things she ever taught me in terms of watching Shakespeare or just in terms of watching anything where you might not understand all the languages, you can tell what's going on by the surrounding and by how the people are emoting.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you did not or was not able to understand what was going on, then maybe you need to sit down a bit and really just take in how people react to things and just embrace that. And if you can't embrace that, then maybe you just need to be by yourself and just leave people alone. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about it on this show a little bit because I know it's not wrestling, but it's wrestling adjacent because Bad Bunny is, we claim him in this wrestling community because he's a fan. So, it was great. And I hope that Bad Bunny does come back and do some wrestling things, but I also hope that if he does come back and do some wrestling things, that him and WWE are able to have an honest conversation about their entanglement with this ratchet ass administration, because they need to have an honest conversation about that, because you are sitting up here sitting with someone who is crapping on his people, but yet you're willing to show him and highlight him and all these things that he's done as a celebrity wrestler outside of wrestling, but yet you're helping to aid and abet an administration that would damage his people.
They still. I tell me why they still associate with that rat.
Mm. It's frustrating.
I'm not gonna. You know what? You know who I'm talking about? That rat from
Yeah.
the way. I'm not gonna name his name.
Yeah, we're not gonna do
Yeah.
that. But
Crazy.
yeah, it is very crazy. But we press forward and we continue to be our excellent selves, even though other people, aren't. But I just wanted to at least come on my platform and speak about it in a responsible manner. So yeah, there was something else I did want to discuss. So Bianca, how did you feel about the Roman Reigns and CM Punk encounter from not this past Monday, but the Monday before this one? Because of course everyone was wondering, oh well, who is Roman Reigns gonna fight at WrestleMania now that he's, won the Royal Rumble? Like what's gonna happen here? Who are you gonna choose? And sometimes a Royal Rumble winner will take their sweet time and choose who they're gonna face, like Liv Morgan is currently doing.
Yeah.
But Roman Reigns, just came out there immediately and was just like, well, I'm thinking about either this person or this person. But the crowd was very much goading him into saying, like, look, like we actually want to see you fight CM Punk. We don't want to see you fight Drew McIntyre, because we've seen that before.
Yeah.
In the past 7 years, we have seen that before, and Roman had beat him, even though he had the bloodline by his side. But that's another conversation. He still beat him. So in the midst of all of that craziness, CM Punk comes out, and these men have quite possibly the promo of the year, and it's just February. The promo of the year, and it is just the second month of the year. That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. We're on the road to WrestleMania, and these two have a battle of words. And what's so funny is when I was watching it with my dad, it just made me think about how years ago we saw Roman Reigns sort of struggle against John Cena back in the day. And he was
Oh
just like,
yeah.
look, if you're going to be the big dog, you're going to have to learn how to cut one of these promos. You're going to have to learn how to do one of these.
Yeah.
And now you fast forward and he's standing up against CM Punk, the voice of the voiceless, the man who is essentially one of the best on the microphone today. And he stood his own. Like Roman really stood his own. There were a lot of people online who were saying, "Oh, well, Roman cooked him and all this stuff," but I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like they were both going blow for blow within that promo. So it was just nuts. Roman brought up the Zebros.
Yes.
He brought up the Zebros and he was just like, you shook my hand and what was it, Zebros or some shit? Like he was cussing and it was just wild. And then he brought up about how CM Punk essentially made his life more difficult than it needed to be because he was on the Colt Cabana podcast, detailing everything and telling the story as to why he left WWE, but also telling how he was instrumental in the creation of the Shield. It was just like, the levels of lore that was being brought up in that promo was just really, really rich. Oh, it was so good. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
I love when promos become so real and include real life topics.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an aspect I love about wrestling is when it's real and they bring up real life topics.
Yeah.
And that said, I'm trying to take them seriously, but like they're just too funny, especially Roman. Like when he tries not to laugh, like he does the thing with his lips. But I love. I haven't seen Zootopia 2 yet, but
Me neither.
do. But like, I do get excited when I do say Zebros every time. It's like, come on, you can't eat the Zebros. No. But
okay, not to interrupt you, but I just want to know what was the call like for them, for the both of them to get that call and say, "Hey, we want you to play zebras in a Disney movie." I just want to know what the story is behind that, because why did you choose them specifically to do this? That's what I want to know. And did they ever think that it would ever get brought up in a wrestling promo? Like, I feel like this week and actually last week as a whole was just a crash course in what happens when things on the internet and things that even kids love gets brought up into wrestling. But actually Becky Lynch did that before, because she was talking about why Maui, she had to explain to her daughter why the character that The Rock played in Moana was slapping dad. And it's stuff like that you really just can't explain. Like, imagine having to explain that to your child. Oh yeah, the voice of this cartoon character is bullying your father. Like,
I
what?
love that. It's so cool at the same time.
I know, like it's amazing how Disney and wrestling can just tie together in the most unexpected of ways. It's just so funny to me.
That's like Macaulay Culkin telling his children, "I'm Kevin from Home Alone." Well, he hasn't told them yet. I love that for them. Oh my god! And their mom is London Tipton. Come on.
Oh my god, girl.
Wow.
I can't even.
No.
Oh my gosh. That's almost like, as actually, now that we're bringing that up, that's also almost like Beyonce and Jay-Z explaining to their kids what they do and how surprised, essentially they were. Like, what? You're what?
You're Beyonce, like New York Beyonce.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Like, that's an insane conversation. But just back to the wrestling component of it, like, now we really have CM Punk and Roman Reigns battling in a main event match, tentatively, because of course this is wrestling, so anything could be subject to change.
Yeah.
They're tentatively scheduled to fight for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania Vegas. And the way that they sold it, it was just really perfect. But I am a little bit stressed out about how this is gonna go, for so many reasons that we will get into. Um but yeah, I just wanted to discuss that because I feel like that promo was honestly one of the best storytelling promos that I had ever seen, and I just had to discuss it because it was just like, whoa. Like, it was just getting really intense, but it was so clear and just so concise and just so good. So, big upset. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Any promo with CM Punk is poetry and this gold and amazing and superb and give me more words. It's Barney says stupendous.
Exactly. You are not wrong. You are not wrong about that. But Roman Reigns, yeah, we gonna have to watch him because he was popping off, and I was just like, boy.
He's evolving.
Oh yeah, he's evolving even more, which is even crazier when you think about how much he already has evolved.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, he's evolving even more, and it's just like, okay, Roman, what? Um, it's crazy. But in the meantime, in between time, we do have to talk about what we liked in wrestling this week. And if we are talking about wrestling and there is no pictures like it usually is, it's because I'm dealing with digital issues. So I like to use pictures as a visual tool, but for right now we're just talking wrestling. So if you want to look at our pretty faces, just talk about the shows in order, then you're more than free to do that. So of course we're gonna start with SmackDown. And we're going to start with this past week's SmackDown. And of course, we're going to start with our women. Something that really did surprise me from this past SmackDown was the fact that we didn't see Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss show up after everything that happened with them in the Royal Rumble. The fact that we saw Charlotte essentially be the Iron Woman in that match, but not only seeing her be the Iron Woman, but we also saw her internally and externally conflicted about having to fight Alexa, as Charlotte was number one and Alexa was number two. It was so crazy to see Charlotte, emotionally tussle with, wanting to go to WrestleMania, but then not wanting to fight with her friend. And then as the match goes on, she accidentally eliminates Alexa. And she's feeling very tortured about it, and we haven't seen them since. And of course, it was announced today that Alexa Bliss will be participating in a qualifying match for Elimination Chamber. But I'm just wondering, how exactly, are they going to feel? Will their friendship survive this, or is Alexa feeling sore about it the way that Raquel and Liv are sort of pretending not to be sore about everything they've got going on? So I was very much surprised that we didn't see them in this past episode on SmackDown, but I'm pretty sure we're going to start seeing, some answers. So Bianca, I want to ask you, do you see Alexa turning on Charlotte?
Ooh. Oh my God. I hope they are both capable of turning on each other. That's the thing, though. Now, well, I mean, at this point, it's too soon. They just became friends. They just became close. So seeing the demise would be too soon and too heartbreaking. But they're both likely to turn on each other. It's just a matter of when. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, but if you had to choose one,
who
would you choose?
Hmm. Ooh. They both they okay. They have both done really evil heel turns to many people in this business. Oh, I think Alexa is more
Mm-hmm.
evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. It-
Yeah, that's kind of the same vein that I'm thinking myself too, because I feel like we've seen Alexa look at singles titles and sort of stare longingly at Jade's title a bit more than we've seen Charlotte do it in the past couple of months. And it's just, and even with that interaction that they had before the Rumble, where backstage they were talking about how Charlotte had won the Rumble twice and how Alexa had her big moment and her big return last year
yeah.
at the Rumble, but she didn't win. I feel like Alexa, since she's been back, she hasn't really fully embodied the goddess Alexa that we have, that, or even really like the fiendish goddess Alexa that we've known her to be since she's been back. And this was a woman who held multiple titles at a time, like, so it's just, I'm wondering if there's a level of hunger that she has for the gold again. And
Hmm.
that's the reason why I can see Alexa turning on Charlotte before anything else would happen. Like, even though we've seen Charlotte be, you know, conniving and vindictive before, I just really feel like there's a level of change that we're seeing in her character that we haven't seen
Yeah.
in a minute, like in a while. Like, I feel like we haven't really seen Charlotte be this soft since her and Becky were a tag team in on SmackDown Live back in the day, before of course Becky turned into the man. So like, I feel like we haven't seen that softness out of Charlotte in a very long time, so it's just like, that's the reason why I don't see Charlotte turning heel. I see Alexa doing it. So I agree with you, Bianca. That's more of what I see when it comes to that, and I'm very intrigued by it. But just like you, I don't want it to end
Yeah.
because I love their friendship.
Me too. It's
I
funny.
love I love seeing female friendship, and I talked about this on Steph and Cat Talk. Wow. Um I love seeing female friendships come to life in wrestling.
I do too.
Um because of course we've seen a lot of male friendships, happen, but anytime I get to see female friendships, which is something that I deeply value in my life, I love it. So to see it end, it's going to sting. It's really going to sting. But, such is life and such is wrestling. It stings, but we love it.
Yeah. Yeah. What would be worse, this breakup or um Bianca and Trinity? Naomi.
Girl, girl. I'm still not over Bianca and Naomi breaking up.
That was an
And that
amazing
was
promo. Oh my god.
exactly like, and we're coming up on a year since that happened, and that was amazing. Oh my god. And then you could tell how locked in they were with their promo because they came out dressed in black like it was a funeral. Um Not laughing at it, but they were locked in, and it was just so good, and there was just so much emotion tied in it. It was so good.
Naomi
Like,
was crying.
that was, and Bianca was crying. Like, it was just up there in the upper echelon of great promos. Like, I feel like not I could talk about that promo all night
Yeah.
long. Oh my gosh. I can't. But that was nuts. But I feel like Bianca and Naomi breaks my heart more.
Me too.
And then it even breaks my heart even further because we still have not seen where that story could possibly go because both of those girls have been out. So,
Right.
mm, whoo, it hurts. That one definitely hurts more. But Alexa and Charlotte might definitely hurt.
Yeah.
Like on a second tier level. But Bianca and not Trinity. Bianca and Naomi is definitely gonna hurt more. Another part of SmackDown with the women that I definitely enjoyed was Kiana James and Julia versus Rhea Ripley and Io Sky for the women's tag titles. I enjoyed watching them fight. I enjoyed watching them fight, and I enjoyed seeing Kiana James come more into her own on the main roster. She definitely did a stellar job in the Royal Rumble. So to see that carry over into to SmackDown, where her and Julia were fighting for the tag titles, it was really good. But of course, Rhea and Io pulled out the win, so that was cool. I'm still waiting. I kind of want Kiana James to go after the women's US title just to put some more steam behind it. So yeah, I really did enjoy that match. Another performance that I really enjoyed was Chelsea Green's performance in the Elimination Chamber qualifier against Tiffany Stratton, who's returned, and Lash Legend. I feel like we're now in a space where we're watching Chelsea Green come more into her power because people are willing it to be so. Mm-hmm. Especially after what was said about her in WWE Unreal.
Yeah.
We saw a level of performance from her that I think is further proving why she should be in conversations for world title contention in WWE. And when she performed that coast to coast onto Tiffany and Lash, that was just absolutely nuts. Now, she did announce this week, sadly, that she broke her ankle. And that bummed me out so bad because I'm just like, no. But hopefully, she'll heal up and everything will be situated pretty soon when it comes to that. But Chelsea did a heck of a job in that match. And if she wasn't going to win, I really wanted Lash to win. But Tiffany Stratton won and she's in the Elimination Chamber. So yeah. Bianca, how did you feel about Chelsea Green's performance, or basically just everyone's performance in that whole triple threat match?
Was it last week? Oh,
yeah, last
week.
Yeah, last Friday.
Oh man, well, let's watch it again. But hearing what she's saying, I'm glad Chelsea won, proved herself that she is worthy of.
Chelsea didn't win. Tiffany Stratton won.
Oh, I'm sorry. See that?
Yeah.
Pull my cover. But anyway, I'm glad. Even if Chelsea didn't, even though Chelsea didn't win, I'm glad with what you're saying. She proved herself after what was said about her, and man, I did see that. She did post it that she broke her foot on Instagram. So that. I didn't know that was because of that, but so I'm sorry, I'm rambling. But I'll just shut up.
No. Yeah, no. I'm just gonna miss Chelsea on my screen. I'm just gonna miss her because she's just so funny, and not even just the fact that she's funny. She just adds so much. So when she said that her ankle was broken, I was like, man, come on.
What if
we were doing?
What if she's pulling a Becky Lynch and like deceiving us? What if she's like cooking up something? What if she like comes back and like with Matt Cardona? And she said, you thought I was deceiving? And you thought I was, what did Becky Lynch say? When she was backstage in Gorilla, when Seth Rollins came back?
Like, you guys thought it was real. Y'all thought, like, here's all the lies. Because Becky did not like having to lie to everyone about Seth's injury. And, and once it became known that he was actually faking, she was like, yeah, so I don't remember exactly what she said, but she was crunk. She was crunk at Gorilla. It was so funny. But I was just in deep despair because I just wanted CM Punk to just be champion in his Fantastic Four clothes. And oh God, it was just so devastating. But either way, I don't know. I don't think Chelsea Green is faking. I really think this is a legitimate injury, but I'm pretty sure, she'll heal and then, she'll bounce back and she could use that as a catalyst for more.
Can we talk about the slapstick she takes? The falls the hits she takes a lot,
She
and like
does take a lot.
she doesn't she falls like nothing. She gets up. She takes she takes the hits, the the slams, the over the top ropes, and she sells it really good. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how hard it is, but like wow, she sells it really good. She's phenomenal. Oh
She
my
is
god.
phenomenal. She's a consummate professional. Like this woman has been in it. Like you're talking about people who have worked like their whole lives, like to get to this point. Chelsea is one of those people. So, you know, she's just she is just a consummate professional, and she's
Yeah,
just someone I just want to see shine and succeed.
me
And
too.
because she
Yeah,
deserves it.
yeah,
She's just awesome. And then I just love her outfit and stuff too, because she had on this newspaper print, and I love newspaper print so much. Like when I interviewed her the last time at Royal Rumble last year, I was actually wearing newspaper print myself. So to see her, come out in her newspaper print at the Royal Rumble was just like, oh my god, look at you, this is so cute. And all the headlines were about her. I was just like, yes, absolutely, absolutely. This is main character energy,
yes,
and that main character energy is just going to be missing now. But oh my
yeah.
god, what
Um,
can you do?
Mr. Tutu in the hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
I Yeah. But then, of course, as we move forward and talk more about the women, we have women's champion Jade Cargill and Jordan Grace
yeah,
having to tag team against, with each other to try to fight Liv Morgan and Raquel, because, of course, Liv has been bouncing from show to show,
yeah.
jockeying for position, seeing which title she wants to go for. And honestly, as happy as I am for Liv Morgan, I would not want her choice because it's a tall order either way. Like you have the toughest woman in the world in Jade Cargill, and then you have a world renowned gifted wrestler in Stephanie Vaquer. Like, excuse me? You have to choose between those two women. Like, I would not want her choice to save my life. But Liv is taking it in stride.
Mhm.
Um, but the part that I enjoyed on SmackDown was just Jordan Grace and Jade Cargill both ganging up on Liv on the microphone, telling her to shut up. They were like, "Shut up, bitch!" And I was just like, "Ah!"
Ooh, that
It
happened.
was it was so funny. I swear to God, like watching it live was just really funny. I was just like, "See, they might not agree on everything, but they agreed on the fact that Liv Morgan was getting on their nerves with saying that she was the greatest Royal Rumble winner ever." So that was hysterical. But something else that does need to be addressed is, when is Raquel Rodriguez going to front Liv Morgan about that elimination at the Royal Rumble? Because it just seems like every time she keeps trying to do it, she gets interrupted somehow, or it gets swept under the rug. So,
I think this is a build up for WrestleMania. I think Raquel will cost Liv the championship to whoever she chooses to fight at WrestleMania. I think this is I think there's definitely a demise between those two. Definitely at WrestleMania for sure. If not, well, not for sure. Well, I would like to think that's what will happen, and that pop will be huge.
yeah, like there is definitely the possibility of Raquel ruining Liv's chance. Like that would be absolutely nuts. Um But then you also have there's that, and then there's also just the tension between Dominic and JD and Finn as well, with Finn going after what he wants to go after. It just seems like everybody is essentially out for themselves while pretending they're for the collective of the Judgment Day, and that's not what's going on. And eventually the foundation is gonna crack.
Yeah.
And you can see it happening slowly, but it's definitely gonna happen surely. And I feel like I feel like it really might happen at WrestleMania, because my God, oh, that would rock the whole stadium for real. It would rock the whole stadium for real. But can you imagine what that would even do to live, to work that hard to win the Royal Rumble, only to have your chance snatched away? Oh
She's
God, I
done
would
something like
crash
that
out.
to other people.
She has. So that would be karma. But oh, I would crash out.
She would go into oblivion.
I would crash out so bad. But yeah, she definitely has a tough choice ahead of her. But we will get into that a little bit later when it comes to the Raw side of things. But to talk about the men on SmackDown, it's so funny. Cody Rhodes, he has been on quite a journey since he got eliminated from the Royal Rumble, which is something that he has, favor in, because of course he had won two years in a row, and he was looking to run it back, and he wanted to come back and get his former glory and get his title back from Drew and all the things. But Drew ruined his chance, and he came out swinging Friday, jumping on Drew McIntyre, stopping him from celebrating his, retaining the title against Sami Zayn. And he came out there and cut, a really fantastic promo, only to be overshadowed by the fact that he was addressing the Roman and CM Punk promo, but he said that because the promo was essentially what my mom would call a dick measuring contest. This is a very curse heavy episode. I'm sorry, y'all. A dick measuring contest. He said they don't call me Raheem for nothing. I
What?
I was laughing so hard. Bianca's melting. Bianca's melting.
What?
Bianca.
They don't call me Raheem for nothing, man.
Yes. Oh, it was so wild. It was so wild, Bianca. It's so wild because it's wild, and I'm gonna tell you why it's wild.
Why?
First of all, I need to give a shout out because in the comments we have royalty.
What's a royalty?
We have Alabama royalty here. We have El Diamante Alabama, who is the owner of El Guay Taqueria Bar here in Alabama. It is a wrestling and lucha libre restaurant here in Alabama, and I'm so happy that you're watching our show. Thank you so much for watching it. Hopefully, I can interview you and come to your restaurant and we can figure that out. Thank you so much for watching. I love what you're doing here. I love what you're doing here. So yes, thank you. Yes, thank you so much, El Diamante. But yeah, he called himself Raheem, and it stems from the fact that he knows that the Black wrestling community online has been equating him and calling him different different nicknames that have to do with Blackness.
Yes.
And it's funny for me because it stems from, this is what happens when you have generations of people who watch wrestling in your family. My dad and my mom always felt that Dusty Rhodes was a black man. Or they always said or felt that Dusty Rhodes was essentially like a soulful white man, who embodied, levels of blackness within him, and and he was very unproblematic, and the Black community, really like F with him and loved him. So he has a son, Cody, and then he has a son, Cody, and then he has Goldust and everything. And you see Cody, coming out with his suits and everything, and he marries Brandy Rhodes, who is a gorgeous, amazing, beautiful Black woman.
Styles, shout out.
Oh yes, Eden Styles. Shout out to her.
The first Black ring announcer I've seen on TV act, by the way.
Exactly. Brandy Rhodes deserves more credit. Yes, absolutely. And then of course, there's a lot that ties into it, but yeah, like the black community really messes with Cody Rhodes. And then you also have the idea that when he was in AEW, he cuts this heartfelt but kind of weird promo about how, he was giving birth to, a beautiful black daughter, and that went viral. And so everybody, started taking the jokes and everything of him, being this civil rights figure, and they're calling him Raheem and all these things. So he sees this over the years and he feeds into it and he knows it, but he deeply appreciates the fact that the black community loves him. He, yeah, he appreciates that, because he said that on a podcast once, and I was just like, oh, that's so nice to hear. That's so nice to hear, that that he fully embraces that. And it's nice. But then I never expected himself to call himself Raheem on television. That's never a thing that I ever expected in my life. Like, what do you mean? It was just so funny. And then what makes it even funnier, I hate that my pictures aren't working because I took a picture of the tweet. Brandy Rhodes actually fed into it and said that it's true. Girl,
I saw that.
Yes, she said it's true. It's true. This is this is turning out to be a very X-rated episode of HWP, but it was bound to happen. We're grown.
Hey, thank you. Oh my God.
But she essentially alluded to the fact that Cody Rhodes he's gifted. And I love that for her, because if it's one level of thirst that I aspire to in my life, is married thirst. Because I feel like thirst in itself is strong, but married thirst, that's a different level. So to see her feed into that, into everybody going wild on her social media, was just so funny. It was so funny. And I was just like, Cody, you will never, there is never a dull moment with Cody Rhodes, honey.
No.
Never. And then he was feeling empowered to act like that because they were in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is where he was born. Now, of course, he was raised in Georgia. He was raised his entire life in Georgia, but he was born in North Carolina. So yeah, like he said that on the show. So, I was just like, okay, well, now he's hyped up. Okay, I get it. He's feeling himself. So I loved it. It was funny. So shout out to Cody and Brandy Rhodes and their marriage, and their very happy marriage. I want to be like y'all one day.
It's so dumb.
Oh, marriage. Oh God. Okay. So so moving on with the men on SmackDown, Carmelo Hayes versus The Miz. Well, first of all, let me put on my press secretary voice. So I am the press secretary. I've assigned myself to be the press secretary for the Carmelo Hayes administration since he's become the United States champion on December 26th, 2025. So as the press secretary for Carmelo Hayes, we do not condone any of the Miz's actions when it comes to his friendship and the stirring up that he's doing with Ilya Dragunov. We do not stand for it. We do not condone it. We do not like it. And we are going to need for Mike the Mizanin to stop it. Okay? Because you are just a hater and you are just mad that Carmelo Hayes that President Hayes has reached higher levels in the months since he's left you behind as a tag team partner, and you are struggling in the seas of SmackDown by yourself. That's the only reason you are doing this, and President Hayes will not continue to stand and let this slide. And I'm more than sure if you want to bring drama to it, then First Lady Lonnie will also step up and have problems too. This is an official / unofficial statement from Press Secretary Hardy from the Hayes administration. There. Now, yeah. The Miz is just being real messy, and this is where this match came from, and this match was very impressive. I will give The Miz his 10s for how he performed in the match. because there was a couple of moments where he, did a couple of things that was impressive, but President Hayes did much better because he actually blocked a skull crushing finale, rolled out of it, and hit a first 48 onto him, and then hit the nothing but net in order to retain the title. So it was absolutely awesome. The match was great. I do recommend you go back and watch it because I feel like The Miz just does not get enough of his tens for how he performs in ring, because a lot of people don't take him as seriously for some weird reason, even though he's a 2-time Grand Slam champion all around. But he did great against Carmelo, but Carmelo definitely rose to the occasion and beat his tail. So President Hayes is doing his big one as the United States champion. We are still living in the United States of Melo, and I will continue to be his press secretary until his term ends. So, yes.
As champion, or even when he's not champion?
Well, no. When he's not champion, no, and that's not shade. That's not shade, because Carmelo, because my thing is, I feel like you can't be a president if you're not the United States champion.
Well,
so I can't. So I mean, well, that's true, but that's different because that's Chelsea Green's thing, okay? but here's the thing: I feel like, because if you're operating in how the presidency is supposed to operate, you move when the administration ends. Right. So it's natural that when, Carmelo Hayes just so happens to lose the United States championship, I will no longer operate as his press secretary. I will just be his fan only and just keep it going that way. But I won't be his press secretary moving forward. Now, if he decides to go for a second term as the United States champion, then I will pick it back up. But I will pick the mantle back up. But
no matter how many times she's champion, I will always be his press secretary.
No, that's not what we're doing. Like, I won't be his press secretary. I will be his fan, and I will be his champion, but I won't be his press secretary once he loses. We'll move out, okay? The Hayes administration will move out, and we'll build a library, and we'll move on. But if he goes back for it again, then we'll talk about options. I know you're laughing because it's ridiculous. I know it is. But that's just how I have fun, okay? That's just how I find creative ways to support my people online.
I need this comic relief so bad. Thank you. It's so stupid, but it's like the best way possible.
Yes, that's how I do it, because I just felt like I picked it up because I felt like if Chelsea Green was the women's United States champion and she was talking about her cabinet and her secret service and everything, then why can't Carmelo Hayes, do the same thing? Why can't Carmelo Hayes have a cabinet? Why can't he have a secret service? How come he can't be the president? Okay, my president is black. Okay.
Period.
Okay, my United States champion is black, so therefore he's the president. So let's keep it going. That's all it is. It's just a continuation of Chelsea Green's bit and applying it to Carmelo Hayes. That's all it is. And I know it's very silly, but I am a silly person. in case you haven't realized it, I am very silly.
I love it. Oh my
God. I'm a very silly person.
Is it secret service or secret himvis?
I don't know. I don't think it works that well. We're just gonna deal with the press secretary for right now. Okay. Yeah, the secret himvis. I don't know.
Even me too.
I don't know. I don't know how that would work. I don't know. Let's just call them the Men in Black. Okay. Let's just give him the Men in Black, and if anybody tries to go up against him, they'll forget and just flash the light and just move on. I don't know. Because Carmelo wears sunglasses, so that would make sense. I don't know. This is going too far. See, this is what happens when we don't have pictures. But either way, I'm glad this is actually quite fun.
It is fun. I love it. Oh my God. It would be Men in Black because The Miz is older than Carmelo Hayes, and Carmelo Hayes is black.
Yeah, they would be the Men in Black, and it would just be perfect. Because that's essentially what Secret Service is. It's like they're dressed up in the suits and everything, the same black suits, with the white collar. Yeah, the Men in Black. I like that. Yes, here come the Men in Black. Galaxy Defenders. Oh my god, that was my movie. But moving on with more men from SmackDown, Obafemi popped up and destroyed Kit Wilson. And that broke my heart because I love them both. And I was happy when Kit Wilson came out there and did the song and did the dance and everything and talked about, listening to women and not being toxic and all the ways in which he plans on being the tonic to toxic masculinity. And then he's doing his dance and then the lights go out and then all you hear are the drums. Doom, 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 doom. And I was like, oh.
I love it when the scrawny people get beat up by the big guys. It's like one of my favorite bits in WWE.
It made me so sad because I love Kit Wilson and everything that his song and his gimmick is about. I love it so much, and I just love it. I love it. But then to see Obafemi come out there like, oh, you're going to die tonight. I was like, oh my god, the final boss of black men is here. He's going to destroy him, and there wasn't even a match. The bell didn't even ring. Actually, no, I think that there was a match, but then on Raw he made an appearance and that bell didn't ring because on Obafemi beat up the War Raiders on Raw by himself, and it was just
wow. That's
babe,
right.
my God. They don't stand a chance. That no one stands a chance against this man.
I mean, unless he did until if Braun Strowman was still in WWE. I mean, that the height. I mean, you see. I mean, am I? Do you not? I mean, that the height.
No, I understand. Yeah, that would be nuts.
I got scared because your eyes were like. I was like, did I?
No, I got excited. I got excited about the possibility of that. That would have been nuts. That would have been a very nuts match.
If they would have, I would have loved to see them implode the ring. Oh, girl, the second time was not too exciting.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was, oh my god, I needed that excitement. So, my gosh. Man, I'm sad Braun Strowman is not like they made a big mistake.
I mean, actually, no, as it turns out, I heard a rumor that when it came to Braun Strowman, he was on like a partial contract due to his health. So it's not like anything out of complete like malice or anything. I think it really had to do with him and his health. That's what it came down to. So yeah, it wasn't anything bad, but I understand the idea of where you're going with Braun versus Oba. Like that's definitely a battle of big meaty men slapping meat, like Big E would say. That would have been a perfect match. So I love that idea. It also makes me think of like the idea of Oba versus oh my god, Oba versus Rusev. That would be an insane match. Oh. Exciting things.
Nigeria.
That is exciting. The amount of blows and slaps you would see from them, like Oba versus Sheamus.
Sheamus is too scrawny for Oba.
I mean, but he's still like big as in a heavyweight, though, is what I'm saying. And he's hard hitting, is what I'm saying. Like I feel like that would be lit. Yeah, that would be very lit. Like I feel like I'm sad that we can't get Oba versus Big E. That would have been nuts. That would have been so nuts. Oh,
Big E or Big E Langston?
Oh, 3 ain't enough, but I need 5. Oh, that would have been nuts. Oh my god. Biggie Langston was a tank.
That's my guy, man.
And
Oh my God.
that's not to say that Big E won the WWE championship. So not so
Mm.
yeah, so we gonna still we still give Big E his tens. We give Big E his tens as a whole. But Jesus, but Biggie Langston, oh my God, that was a time to be alive.
I was when I first started watching WWE. Oh my God, with AJ and Dolph Ziggler. Oh,
That was a time to be alive right there. Jesus. But
Danny Bryan
there are
probably
just
did.
there are just mm-hmm. That was just a fun time right then. But
Yeah.
let me just say, like, the amount of great matches that Obafemi can have against people who match up with him, heavyweight wise, it's just a plethora of them. So I'm just so excited to see his trajectory and where he's going to go. And they seem very excited about him too, and how they talk about him. Because Michael Cole even said on commentary that he feels like he's going to be a future world champion, or like the future face of WWE. And I cannot wait. But yeah.
This turns out.
Yes. Yes. The final boss of Black Men,
Ooh,
killing everyone.
I like
Love
that.
it.
Ooh. Imagine the
Yeah.
boss versus the final boss. If The
Oh,
Rock decides to come back as the final boss, I would not
the
mind that.
The Rock versus Oba.
Ooh,
Stop.
girl, I'm cooking. I'm
Stop.
cooking on this Thursday night. I'm cooking.
Stop. The Rock versus Oba. Oh,
Not even Oba. Not
in his
even The Rock.
prime,
Make
Jesus.
a Fatu.
Oh,
I need that
look,
in my life.
Bianca.
Oh
They
my
need
God.
to hand you the pen
Thank
because
you.
you cooking.
Right.
But we gotta move on. If you cook anymore, you're gonna burn the house down. Okay. But we gotta move on. But we are excited about Obafemi's trajectory. Okay, there's so much to
Oh,
be
my feminist. Let's go.
there's so much to be done. But let's talk about Raw. Let's move into Raw. So
Wow.
let's get into the women. Um, Becky Lynch, the women's intercontinental champion, is crashing out because AJ Lee has popped back into the chat. On the road to Elimination Chamber and on the road to WrestleMania, she was walking side by side with her man, her hubby, the world heavyweight champion, and CM Punk. And Becky was crashing out about it, and she claimed that she had a big announcement for us, dealing with the corruption of the Royal Rumble. But AJ came out there and interrupted her and talked her into a intercontinental title match at Elimination Chamber, in which Becky vowed that she would beat her and embarrass her in her hometown, because Elimination Chamber is going to be in Chicago, which of course is the hometown of CM Punk, and essentially by marriage the hometown of AJ. So I am excited that we're getting this match, but a part of me was low-key hoping we would wait till WrestleMania to get it.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that it still can't happen at WrestleMania, because shenanigans could ensue. You never know. But I am excited that we are getting it, because here again you have a great opportunity for someone like AJ to battle for a title, which here again did not exist when she was in her initial run. Yeah.
Which championship are we talking about?
The Intercontinental title.
The women's. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
The women's.
Wow. And then when AJ wins, hey, oh my God.
Yeah, the women's intercontinental title. Like, that's so nuts to think. It's nuts to really think about in the scheme of women's wrestling history. But when you see people like her and people like the Bella Twins come back, and you see them wanting to vie for these championships, it's just like you have to remember all of those women were scrapping and fighting each other for the same one opportunity, whereas the men were fighting for multiple titles at a time.
Yeah.
Like, it was very disproportionate in terms of opportunity. It wasn't equal. So now we're getting to a place where there's to a degree an equal, or at least an equity of opportunity for the women. And you have these women who came up during the Divas era
Yeah.
fighting for these belts, and AJ is doing it. But the thing that I found the most funny about this promo was just the idea that AJ was essentially acquiescing to Becky's ego in order to get the match. And I thought that was a very smart manipulation tactic. So we are getting that match. So Bianca, how do you feel about AJ going up against Becky for the women's intercontinental title?
Well, first of all, before I give my thought, when you say that when she was acquiescing to her ego, like
Mm-hmm.
what do you were you talking about? Like she was when she was were you talking about the fact where she was telling her that she beat her in like all those matches?
Yeah, when I say she was sort of acquiescing to her ego, when I say that, like I mean like she was playing to it a little bit. Like, oh well, if you want to be known as the greatest female wrestler of all time, then why don't you give me this match so you can prove it? Like she was with as much as Becky was fighting against it, she was just like, well, just think about it. If you fight me, and I, you beat me, then you could be known as the greatest. But then if I beat you, then what does that make? Then that would make me the greatest. So that irritates Becky, ergo making her give her the match to prove that AJ isn't the best wrestler in the world. It's her. So do you get it?
I love a good AJ promo. I love it. I love that. I love her I love her mind tricks and love her tone. She has a tone when she
Mm-hmm.
talks, and it never gets old. I've been hearing that for like over 10 years. It's amazing. It's just like her husband. It can never. I just love a good AJ Lee promo and the mind games, and I'm happy that AJ's back because I know she was dealing with depression with the loss of Larry baby Larry bug Larry. Yeah, I'm happy she's back. I actually was not expecting her to return.
Me
I mean,
neither.
I knew she would. I knew she'd be back, but I didn't know that she would return on Monday. So that return was amazing. I loved it so much. That promo was great. Um, and seeing AJ Punk in the back, and while Becky was crashing out.
That was so funny. And I had a petty thought while watching that happen. I was just like, why does this embody every person who was angry about the halftime show? And you have, like, to me, watching that happen, watching AJ walk, being unbothered with her husband and having fun while you're watching Becky in the background crashing out about it, it felt like they were going to have fun at the halftime show, and then it's like you had Becky sort of embodying everybody who was angry about it. Like if you were going to make a meme that had that embodied there, it would have been perfect.
I
But
mean, AJ Lee is Puerto Rican, so
exactly, more Puerto Rican greatness. So
ah!
right, like it was just really, that's just the way my brain works when I see stuff like that. But yeah,
But
like Becky, yeah, she's fully crashing out, and I don't know how she's gonna recover from any of this. So at this point, we'll just see how it goes.
about that match, I don't even know how it's going to end. Punk will. That's when Seth Rollins returns, and when Seth Rollins returns, CM Punk comes out. So once that happens, there will be something to cause AJ to win the championship. Doesn't you already know? You already know you already know how it's gonna happen. It's
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I feel like this is enough to where you don't need the men there.
Okay.
This is where I would prefer if they would just let the men stay out of the women's business. which is honestly a credo that I live by when it comes to, I mean, if it's like an intergender match, then okay, I get it. But in this case, no. Leave the husbands out of it. Leave them out. And speaking of that, we need to move into talking about Liv, of course, having too much dip on her chip when it comes to Stephanie Vaquer and all the stuff that she was saying to her on Raw this past Monday as well. Now, of course, Liv Morgan came out there to celebrate with Dom, who's back. And Dom surprised her with roses and candy, which a lot of people compare it to Eddie Guerrero giving China roses and candy back in the day, which I thought was so sweet. Rest in peace to both of those amazing people. But oh my god, it, you know, and it was cute for Valentine's Day and everything, and it made me think about something. I was just like, you're like, I remember back in the day when Dirty Dom
Got married.
When Dirty Dom was, I don't mean in real life, like I'm talking about when he was going out with Rhea Ripley and he took her out on a date for Valentine's Day and she had to pay for it.
Oh,
I remember that. And now you're seeing him give flowers and chocolates to Liv, and it's just like, you just only did the bare minimum with Rhea, and now you're buying flowers and chocolates for Liv. So okay. And then, you know, he's, you know, bigging Liv up, but then you have Stephanie Vaquer, the women's world champion, coming out, and Liv essentially was just, you know, Stephanie and Dominic were going back and forth in Spanish, and Liv was just like, Dom, tell me what she said, tell me what she said, tell me what she said. And he was just like, I'm not going to do it because it's not important. And then she said, oh, I'll tell you what Dom said. He said that he's a little bitch. And everybody was like, oh my God. And so in the midst of this, excuse me, Liv has too much dip on her chip because she told Stephanie, she offered Stephanie Vaquer a Hot Girls Love Dominic Mysterio t-shirt, but she said, but you're not hot enough to wear the shirt. And I'm sitting here like, do you not see Stephanie Vaquer? Do you not see her? Are you blind? Stephanie Vaquer is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, not even just, I don't just love Stephanie because she's an amazing wrestler and I've loved her since before she got to WWE. She is gorgeous. Like Bianca, I found out who Stephanie Vaquer was when she wrestled Mercedes Moné in New Japan.
Oh, see, I'm late.
Yeah, see, that's how I found out who she was, because she was in CMLL and she was a double champion there, and they fought in the New Japan Strong Women's Tournament a few years back, and that's how I found out who Stephanie was, and she had been on my radar ever since. And then she went to WWE and got signed after she fought Mercedes again in AEW. So she wasn't signed to AEW officially.
Okay.
She wasn't signed to AEW officially. She fought with them as a collaboration with CMLL.
Just like TNA is with NXT.
Yeah, that's how they did that. Yeah. So then after that, Stephanie signed with WWE, and that's why we see her here now. So I have been following her since before then. And I'm just like, do you see this woman? Like, Liv Morgan in this entire segment reminded me of what happens when, no shade, but all the shade, when non-women of color date a person of color and then they feel like they can relate to us. That's what it really felt like to me. And I was just like, Liv, girl, you're doing way too much. And then she took it even a step further when she decided to call Stephanie a puta, which is a very bad word in Spanish. And then Stephanie started yelling at her in Spanish afterward. And then Dom decided to walk his happy ass up there. And then she slapped the crap out of him afterwards. And it just goes to show you, the question that I asked to him at the Royal Rumble about staying out of women's business continues to age exceptionally well. Because he never knows how to stay out of women's business. He doesn't know. He doesn't know how to stay out of it. And even when you think he's staying out of women's business, he still finds a way to weasel himself back in it. And it's just so annoying. And then it's just like, And Liv just really took it too far, because first of all, calling somebody a puta is rude, number one, and number two, it's just like, how dare you call this amazing, stunning Chilean woman not hot enough for
Yeah.
your t-shirt that you got made because you love your boyfriend. Girl, bye. You got too much dip on your chip, and I'm gonna need for you to back and stick to the waterfalls that you are used to. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. So, I feel like Liv might choose Stephanie, but I feel like here again, like I said earlier, it's a very tall order
Yeah.
because she is not something that you can just play with at all. So that was funny.
Yeah, that promo was,
Um,
I really enjoyed that promo. It was just, I love, and it was after, and coming off the Super Bowl halftime show, just hearing the Spanish and the encounter. I was bracing myself
mhm.
for it because I didn't want to hear the crowd saying, chanting the what. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that didn't happen. Well, I mean, I hope at least I don't think it did. I didn't hear anything, but hearing the encounter, the Spanish encounter it was very cool. It was I love I I really loved it. It was funny in the slap.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a really good encounter, but there's all like when you are a person of color, you're never really lonely because there'll always be a white person all up in your business. Um so we're gonna move on.
You
I
know what I
want to
hate?
give
Oh my
huh?
gosh, when people when when like white people like think that like being woke is bad, and like when they eat, when they think they eat so bad, when they say FAFO, like oh my god, it's so.
Okay, Bianca, we gotta
I'm
move on.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We gotta move on.
I'm sorry.
We gotta move on. It's okay, but we gotta move on because we
Okay.
don't want to get deep off into that right now. We don't need
Yeah.
to go too deep into it, but at the same time, yeah, I get it. So moving on, I want to give a shout out to Ivy Nile. Because she was the MVP in the triple threat, and basically the first triple threat we saw for the qualifier, for the Elimination Chamber match against Rhea Ripley and Lyra Valkyria. I was really surprised that Lyra. Well, actually, I was very surprised that Rhea Ripley went on to win it, even though I understand she's just on fire right now. I would have really loved it if Ivy now got to win it, because the way that she was performing in that match with her show of strength, and with a lot of the moves that she was hitting, I was just like, we really need to give Ivy now more credits, because I feel like she's a very underrated talent that doesn't get utilized to the best of her ability.
Now.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
and of course, there's room for growth, but I
yeah.
really feel like Ivy just needs to do. They need to do better by Ivy now, because she was an MVP of that match for sure Monday.
And who did
Yeah.
she who was her match against? What was her match?
It was against Rhea Ripley
Sure.
and
Yeah.
Lyra Valkyria for the Elimination Chamber qualifier.
She looks good. I like this look.
Yeah.
I like her new look.
Mm-hmm. And then the last part that I'll get to for the women that I enjoyed from Raw was the debut of the Natty character, the
Yes.
Loki legend, going up against Maxine Dupree. And in the beginning, it looked like Maxine Dupree was almost getting the upper hand on her. But once Natty locked in and just started beating up on her outside of the ring to the point that the match went no contest, I was like, yep, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. But what's so funny is that when she was giving her the sharpshooter, she reminded me so much of how she used to give the sharpshooter to AJ back in the day. And also to Caitlyn back in the day as well, who was AJ Lee's tag team partner as the Chick Busters. And it just felt like a long time ago. Every week, they would send AJ and Caitlyn out there to get beat up by either Beth Phoenix or Natalia back in the day. And to see her do that to Maxine was just like, oh my God, this is like deja vu. And only for AJ to come out there and rescue Maxine from getting further attacked was just like, wow.
That's what.
So and then AJ gets attacked by Becky again, and I'm just like, okay. So I'm just like, so what is this IC title picture going to look like for the women? Is it going to be Becky, AJ, and Natty, or is it going to be Becky, AJ, Natty, and Maxine? Like, there's so many layers to it and so many directions they could go for this that it's just like, ooh, I don't know who I want to win.
I wouldn't mind seeing a ladder match for that. A women's ladder match? Has that ever happened?
Bianca, yes.
I'm sorry.
I mean, a women's ladder match. A women's ladder match for the women's Intercontinental title?
Yeah.
That hasn't happened.
Okay.
Not for the women's Intercontinental title.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah, no.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. I don't know, but it was just really interesting to watch that play out the way that it did. So I don't know. I just feel like we might see a rematch at some point, maybe between Natty and Maxine. But the way that Natty was beating up on her, I was just like, man, this is a monster. This is not the pink Natalia that we're used to. And I love it. She's just, it's just awesome. So moving into the men on Raw, though, I have to give all of the 10s to Javon Evans. Because he was in a tag team match with the OG El Grande Americano, who came back and had a tag team match against the Americanos, Rico and Bravo, I think that's what their names are. And Javon Evans, you know how he's famous for his high flying. Bravo Americano was trying to prepare for, I guess, a splash or something. But the way Javon Evans was on the other side, and I wish I had a picture showing it, but Javon, if you watched Raw, you knew what happened. He was on the other side of the ring, and he leaps and hits his OG cutter onto Bravo Americano from the other side. And when I tell you, it was the most chill-inducing thing I had ever seen in my life. I just
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. Just put him in the Hall of Fame now. Make him the youngest Hall of Fame member in history. Off of the strength of that OG cutter alone. Just put him in there. Just put him in there. Because what do you mean? What do you mean you hit an OG cutter from the top rope all from one side to another? And Javon Evans is an angel. That's the only way I can explain it. Javon Evans is an angel, and he has wings in his back that we can't see. He's an angel. And the way he flew and just the way that he flies just so effortlessly, it impresses me every time. And I'm just so happy.
And he's only 21.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's the scariest part about all of it. He's just 21.
Insane. You wouldn't think that. Wow, insane. Ugh.
Just 21. So imagine how much more locked in he'll be at 25 or even 30. Like, I'm mad. There's a part of me that's mad because I feel like a match between him and Jeff Hardy in his prime would have healed me.
I could see it now. Ooh.
That would have healed me in so many different places. A match between Javon Evans and even Kofi Kingston would heal me.
Or then?
Then and now.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Kofi could do it now. I mean, I don't see any reason why not. But definitely Kofi from back in the day, my God. Oh.
Yes.
The way I blasted that song, speaking of Black History, the way I blasted that song when he won the WWE title, child. Oh my God. Ooh. I cried. Anyway.
There was a time. Oh my God.
We need Javon Mania now. We need Javon Mania. I don't know what belt we need to slap on him, but we need to slap one on him immediately. I swear. Cause the way Javon performed Monday, like it was so good that Corey Graves on commentary asked the production truck to replay it again. Like that's how real it was. Javon is a gift from God, and we should appreciate him as such.
Bouncy.
Yes. Bouncy Mania.
That's a hashtag.
Bouncy Mania. Oh, that is a hashtag.
With his phone, with his emoji next to it, like John Cena. I was fine. Oh, that's cool.
Oh my gosh. Should I go to school for marketing instead? I don't know. Sometimes I be coming up with names and should I go into branding? I don't know.
Hey, you branding. This is your brand.
I don't know. It's like I come up with things like that and it's just like, man, my mind.
Execute that brand. Execute it. You never know.
Oh,
the Kardashians made a whole brand by I don't know. But I thought I ate. Never mind. But you know,
I know what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel you. But my God, craziness. But I also want to give a shout out to LA Knight qualifying for the Elimination Chamber because I'm so happy he's back. And he deserves more of his things as well. I'm so pumped about that. And I also want to give a shout out to Corey Graves because his line about El Grande Americano and the OG El Grande Americano being and the other one being extra crispy had me dying laughing. I was just like, wait a minute, Corey, what do you know about extra crispy chicken? That just made me laugh so hard. And I was just like, Corey, never change, please. And also shout out to him because he's also a teacher, a professor at Point Park University for live sports production. And it's a school that I'm actually looking into and into applying for. So when I found out that information, I was just like, Corey Graves teaching a class. I feel like I should be there. But I don't know. The way that the weather is set up north is I don't know. But yeah, Corey Graves is teaching a class at an actual university about live sports production and broadcasting. So yeah.
Since when?
Since a few years ago. But he would do it off and on, but they actually approved it. And he's not like a full-time teacher, but yeah, he's a teacher.
He's a teacher?
Yeah, at a whole university.
What?
Yeah.
I did not expect that to come out of your mouth.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was just like, he would be teaching at a university that I'm looking into applying for. Like, that's funny to me.
Where is he teaching it?
At Point Park University.
Oh, where is that?
That's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is where he's from too. So,
wow,
yeah,
wow. Okay, Mr. Not Graves.
Yeah, it's Graves.
His, I'm talking about his government name.
Well, no, let's not do the government.
Okay, okay.
But
okay,
yeah, Corey Graves made me laugh so hard Monday. Like, I feel like he's also not appreciated enough for his work on commentary either, because he's just very he's very brash about it, because he definitely gives you like kind of like that Bobby Heenan vibe If you go back and watch like old school wrestling and you hear like the heelish color commentary next to like the straight man play by play, like he definitely gives like sort of like the Bobby Heenan to Gorilla Monsoon type of thing. But when he makes sense and details wrestling history, there's no one like it. Like he's really smart. He's a great historian, and he's also good at interweaving pop culture into things too. So
Wow.
I enjoy him on commentary, and he made me laugh with that extra crispy line. So yeah. But as we move into the last part of our show where we talk about NXT, the women is just dealing with a whole lot of drama, and we're watching the end of Zaruka in real time. And we have to talk about it because Robert Stone is now the general manager because Ava / Simone Johnson did leave WWE, and we send her and wish her the very best in her journey moving forward. You're a badass. You're amazing. But Robert Stone is now the interim general manager of NXT. So he made this tag team match between Zaruka and the Ren QCC with Ren Sinclair and the Evolve Women's Champion Kendall Gray. And whoever was to get the pin in that tag team match would be number one contender to the NXT Women's Championship. So Zarya kept reiterating to Soul that she wanted this opportunity because she felt like Soul was always given opportunities and she wanted her time to shine. But mind you, this was also a tag team match. And it felt like Zarya was letting her hubris sort of blind her from that fact, because towards the end of the match, she accidentally tagged into Soul and the referee saw it. So she was a little bit sloppy on that end. And because Soul was the legal competitor, she hit a Soul Snatcher onto the legal competitor and wound up winning. So now Soul Ruka is the number one contender, and she has a title opportunity against JC Jane. And Zarya was pissed about it.
I would be too.
But here's the thing. I feel like if you knew, this is where I'm playing devil's advocate, because I've seen a lot of people online take the side of Zarya. And I understand Zarya's frustration because, yeah, she does want a chance at a title. But my thing is, you also have to be locked in and realize that this is also a tag team match. And with her accidentally bumping into Soul, I feel like there was a level of focus that she did not have. If you wanted to get the pin and the upper hand, then you should not have positioned yourself in a way to where you would bump into your partner. You should have been more focused, is what I'm saying. So I'm not wholly taking Zarya's side here. There's a little bit of sloppiness that was there on the part of Zarya, where she should have really been focused and locked in to where she could have gotten the pin, as opposed to just being so sloppy to the point to where she bumped into her and then Soul was the legal competitor. So it's tough because, yeah, you want Zarya to have this opportunity, but then at the same time, this was still a tag team match, and she was not treating it like it was a tag team match that whole time. She just wanted to, battle through and try to win it by herself, but she had to tag into Soul, in order to try to win, but it was just really tough. But yeah, I'm not wholly on Zarya's side, and maybe that makes me the villain, but I'll play the villain, but still. I mean, you have to call it how you see it, and that's just kind of how I saw it. So I really feel like with this match that Soul has against JC Jane, with this NXT episode happening in Atlanta in 2 weeks, I do think that Zarya is going to be frustrated and she's going to take this opportunity away from Soul. And I hate it because I hate the end of female friendships. But damn it, we're getting there.
Yeah. Oh. But I do. But I do see where Zarya is coming from. She wants her opportunity, and I hope she gets it somehow, some way. I don't know. Am I talking? Yeah, I just, ugh. I mean, I do see both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I do see where both are coming from. Maybe there will be a day where they both fight. I won't, but where Zarya and Soul fight in a match on NXT. Or maybe not on NXT. Maybe like on like main roster. Or I don't know. Maybe or am I talking too soon into the future with.
You are talking a little bit too soon into the future. But I do see this becoming. This could very well become like a blood rivalry, though.
Yeah.
Like, if this has enough heat behind it, it really could be like a blood rivalry that could bleed over into everything. But I feel like just for the NXT side of things, it's about to get real brutal. Yeah.
I could see it too. Yeah.
And it's breaking my heart because I love Zaruka, but my God. I have wanted to see Zarya get more opportunities though, so maybe this is just that way, but my God.
Why, Sean? Why?
Why? um so I did want to talk about how Lola Vice got attacked by Kalani Jordan again backstage while she was in medical getting her hand checked because Kalani did attack her last week on NXT and hurt her hand. But then she attacked her even further. And I'm bummed out because it's just like Lola just won her first championship in WWE slash AAA because her and Mr. Iguana this past weekend won the AAA mixed tag team titles from Ethan Page and Chelsea Green.
Wow.
So yeah, so she's won her first title, which is congratulations for her. But Kalani just keeps coming after her and just keeps attacking her. And it's just like, dang, this is low-key like the feud that just never ends. And it's not that I'm bored of it, because I'm not, but it just seems like these two are just gonna keep fighting forever. They're low-key becoming like the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Not saying that they were ever friends, because they really weren't, but they're low-key like the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn of wrestling, of NXT. Because every time you turn around, they're fighting each other. So Kalani and Lola might have to take it to the cage.
Maybe this is foreshadowing a match between their spouses. A future match between Carmelo and Damian Priest. That would be cool. That's a dream match.
I mean, it would be cool. Yes, it would be cool. But here again, this is the men's business.
Okay. But anyway, okay.
Yeah.
That match between I would like to see a Kaylani Jordan Lola Vice match. That would be cool. Oh my God, they both have they can oof, that's a dream match.
I feel like Kalani versus Lola in the underground would be really cool. Like in the underground match where Lola Vice is essentially undefeated in, I feel like that would be a very interesting combo for someone like Kalani Jordan, because we haven't seen her wrestle like that. Like in an MMA type of background type of thing. So I think that would be backdrop. So I feel like that would be cool.
An underground match? Wow. That's where like the apron, the ropes are gone. It's just the mat
Mm-hmm.
and that's cool. I would love that. Oh my gosh. That there's a vibe to that.
Yeah, there's a major vibe to it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So the last thing that I wanted to discuss with NXT is just the fact that I wanted to celebrate that Joe Hendry is the NXT champion. I am so thrilled. Joe Hendry is my fave. Like you heard earlier, he is one of my faves. So the idea that he won that ladder match to become the new champion made me so, so, so happy. I love him so much. And just seeing him celebrate and then also seeing someone in the NXT audience cosplaying as him was just so
Yes.
cute. So I was just like, Joe, you're an NXT champion. And I love how on social media he was sharing pictures of him from his beginnings of wrestling. From Scotland and moving over to the United States and essentially betting on himself and everything. And just his trajectory has only been upward. He's been a TNA champion. He's been a TNA internet, not an internet, digital media champion. You know, he's just been doing the things and doing the hard work to get to where he is. And it's just so inspiring to see someone so positive and so fun and funny get a chance like this. So I love Joe Hendry and I'm so happy that he won. But I was bummed out that he got attacked by Ricky Saints, who's just crashing out now. My Gambit is crashing out, Cher. I'm gonna need for him to get his life in order.
Joe Hendry needs to write a song about Ricky Saints.
Oh, he will. I feel like Joe Hendry is gonna write a song about him, and it's gonna be hilarious.
I always sing Ethan sucks. Believe in Joe. Ethan, put on some clothes. That's iconic.
That was so funny. No one writes a song like Joe Hendry.
No.
You wanted, actually, now that I think about it, there's someone, I feel like if Joe Hendry and The Rock did a concert together, that would be the most hysterical thing ever.
That's a WrestleMania moment.
A Rock Joe Hendry concert. That would be nuts.
I would love that. Oh my god. Oh my god. That brought me back.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We talk about John Cena and Pretty Pebbles. That's so, oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that I feel like watching The Rock's concerts back in the day and then watching him do it as the final boss was just like hilarious. So, I mean, he's sort of like the innovator of the concert. So, doing it with Joe Hendry would just be hysterical for me. Like, I feel like they need to find a way to make that happen.
And then The Rock smashes his guitar on Joe Hendry's back.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. So it would be great. But, you know, that's just my fantasy booking, my silly fantasy booking brain just working overtime. Hey, but either way.
Until it becomes true Lulu.
Exactly. Absolutely. You gotta believe in your Delulu until they become Trululu.
Yes.
Yes. And with that in mind, we're going to say ice out. And thank you for watching the Hardy Wrestling Podcast with no pictures. I'm sorry, y'all. The internet, my computer is just not being its best right now, but I'm glad for those who actually stayed around and watched. And of course, if you want to watch it later, you can watch it on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is the Hardy Wrestling Podcast. Please know that you can follow me, your girl Stephanie Hardy, on Instagram and Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy. You can follow the show, the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, on Instagram at Hardy Wrestling Podcast, like it's scrolling on the bottom of the screen, and on Twitter at Hardy Wrestle Pod. You can also listen to the show audio wise on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Amazon Podcasts, as well as other places you get audio as well. But definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also follow me on TikTok at Stephanie_Hardy. I post a lot of my clips on there. And also tune into Steph and Cat Talk. Wow, we will be doing a new episode this week. I'm not sure what day, but we will be doing one. And just continue to support your girl, because you just never know where or when I might show up. So thank you, Bianca, for coming on and being my host, and just tell everybody where they can find and follow you and what you've got going on.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram to see what on you can follow my personal pages on Twitter and Instagram at Bianca Addison. I don't know what that was earlier. I'm sorry. But you can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Bianca Addison. And you can also follow my ring announcing page Ebony Rose Ringside. That's where I post my ring announcing page, so you can follow and support that, because I got things going on and things coming up, and have goals and dreams, and becoming a ring announcer is one of them. So this is how I get myself out there. So you can follow me and support my journey on Ebony Rose Ringside. That's EBONI Rose Ringside on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, this has been the newest episode of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast with your girls, Stephanie and Bianca. And until next time, bye, y'all.
Okay, bye.